forget that the word cosplay is composed of two words, costume and roleplay. And the second one seems to be a little tricky for a lot of cosplayers. In fact, one of the questions that people ask me the most is, how do I get into character? Well, let's see how you can manage to get into character in quite simple ways. Hi guys, Fla'nel here. So, doing TikTok videos, I ended up acting like my characters far more than before. Even though roleplaying was the first thing that attracted me to cosplay, I ended up not acting that much at the beginning.
I don't know if it's because we live in France, where most of the time costume making is a bit more important than your acting.
Yes, pas tout le temps, vous assassinez pas les Français, but that's true that in France costume is most of the time most important than roleplay. But I know that, yeah, I left roleplaying behind for a long time, even when doing photo shoots. But roleplaying can be so important to your costume, whether for a video or for a photo shoot. Knowing your character is too important to be ignored.
C'est quand même dommage de cosplayer uniquement un personnage pour son costume et du coup ne pas savoir comment poser pour des photos.
Yeah. So let's go through the basis of what I do when I want to interpret my character to help you doing something like this too. First step is to analyze a character. Most of the time when I decide to cosplay a character, I choose someone that I feel attracted to, I feel close to, or just someone that I find really fun to cosplay. I tend to prefer cosplaying characters when their character development is full, but still, sometimes there are some exceptions. It's pretty rare when I do a character because I only love his design. The last time it happened, it was with him, Vicious from Tales of Krystoria, which is a great game that you can play on phone. I really recommend it. And no, this is not sponsored, just it's a good game and it's free, so you can give it a try. No, it's not sponsored. Stop looking at me like that, I assure you! When I decided to cosplay him, only some trailers were out and I didn't know that much about him. But luckily for me, he was quite a flashy character. So I soon understood how I could actually interpret him. Still, there was a lot of imagination on how I was playing him and posing for him. But I already cosplayed some character that had that kind of personality, so it was easier for me to imagine that. In the end, it was quite close to how I imagined him to be. Just add an addiction to alcohol and boom! You have the real Vicious. But we're not here to talk about Vicious. We're here to learn how to interpret your character. First, choose your character. Here I'll use Crowley as a first example, since it's the one I'm the most at ease with when it comes to roleplaying.
No, I know what you smell like.
If the character has a personality close to yours, it will be easier, but still it can work with a character really different from you. You have your character. If they come from a series, a movie, or truly anything that moves, just go rewatch it. Watch the moments where you can see them a lot, and watch how they move and their little mannerisms. Look at how they walk, how they move their arms, their expressions, and try to memorize them, or just screen them. It will help you to understand their behavior and to reproduce it. You can also find images of them online. Put those in a folder and just take the time to look at them. Really look at them. It's the technique I would recommend for the second case, by which I mean characters that only exist in 2D. Those characters are never animated, they never move, they come from a manga, comic or a light novel, and there's nothing else about them. This time I'll take the example of Lassie Baskerville from Pandora Hearts. We only see this character in the manga and she was never animated, so great example.
Rip Lassie, Pandora Hearts.
Same thing as before, go back to your source material. Watch how they are drawn, their expression, their poses, truly anything that you can find in the source material. If you don't have that many references for a character, go check the fan arts. Artists can be a great source of inspiration and can help you coming up with different poses for characters that are not seen a lot.
Names from Detroit Become Human.
38 seconds of existence. Maybe that's 39. I don't know. The fan art technique can also work with characters coming from books, where there is no illustration at all. But be careful, if you decide to entirely reproduce a fan art, you have to credit the artist. I'm gonna kill you if you do otherwise.
Elle cligne même plus des yeux. C'est une machine. On a parlé de Naïs, ça y est.
Last technique that can sound a bit weird at first, but it can work, and truly it's a bonus, but read some fanfiction. I know that when it comes to characters that are hard to understand or that have zero source material, reading how other people imagine them psychic can help you. Well, if you want to read something that is not chippy, that might be kind of hard to do, but those exist too, they are just really rare. Yes, I just admitted that I read fanfiction, but be honest, who doesn't? I see you. Okay, back to the serious stuff. You have all your references in a folder or in your head. You've done the biggest work. Now let's go for the longest work. Or not depending on your experience or how close you are to your character. Gaining confidence in interpreting your character. Right, Kaz?
Shut up, we're not going to talk about Will.
I used to go on photoshoot without training my expression or poses before. And truly that is not a good idea. I wasn't at ease at all doing that, and now I'm doing it all the time. But how to train, you'll ask? Well, it's like theater. The easiest way is in front of a mirror. Try making their expression. Try to move your arms as they do, try to walk as they do, or just try to sit as they do.
C'est un gros début.
This might sound silly at first, but the trick here is not to be afraid of being ridiculous, because you are not. Your parents may look at you weirdly, your lover or housemate may look at you funny, or even your pet can look at you like you've gone crazy, but this mustn't stop you. Why? Because when you arrive at that moment, when you recognize your character just through your expressions or the way you pose without your cosplay, this is a big success. Because this means that you got it, and when you put the costume on you, the effect will be multiplied by 1,000. This is basically like theater. It certainly feels weird at the beginning, but the bonus effect of this is that it actually can help you build your confidence in the long term. So yeah, this is basically how I train to roleplay my characters. It feels so much easier to pose during a shoot or to film a video when you feel in character. This takes time, but really I think it's worth it. On this, love you all and see you next time!
Drop a like, comment or follow his channel if you like the video, but... Wait! Depuis quand c'est à moi de dire ça? Fla?
Do not be afraid of being... Non? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Qu'est-ce que c'est qui m'attaque?
Longest work. Coming up with different... C'est...
Mais qu'est-ce qui se passe? Le réseau est parti. La flamme est morte.